Some good races this weekend at Churchill Downs on Saturday. So let's do a little quick preview of races 7 through 10. They are stakes races, all for 3-year-olds, a couple for the boys, a couple for the gals. Remember, anytime you're playing the races, whenever you need a little help, make sure to head to shop.drf.com. You can get all the past performances you need, all the handicapping tools, all the products, everything there. And drf.com is the home base for all the news, all the articles. They keep you updated. So race number 7, I thought was probably not really a bettable race because Batten Down seems to be a heavy favorite. He just faced some of the absolute best 3-year-olds in his last couple starts in the Jim Dandy and the Travers. Fierceness, Sierra Leone, Torpedo Anna. Won't have to deal with anyone like this in here. Although he was defeated earlier on in his career by Elephant's Ear, but I think he's the one to catch and beat. It just doesn't look like there's all that much early speed in this race either. Small field, and he's probably the one to catch, unless Hades can push him from the outside with Luis Saez aboard. If Hades is able to put a little bit of pressure on Batten Down, that's how he could get beaten here. Hades has never gone this far. We've seen him go 1.125 miles. This is 1.316 miles, so maybe he'll just be more forward. Real Macho could be one of the horses that gets the benefit of that. But I think if you're looking for a price, maybe you're trying to beat Batten Down or the short price horses in here. I thought the one Next Level was kind of interesting just because we know this horse can get the trip, can sit back, save ground from the inside, and at least pick up some pieces in here. So I thought Batten Down's the one to beat in here. Not necessarily if this is like a massive betting race for me, but Batten Down is a nice horse, and he'll have a shot in here getting some class relief. The Dogwood feels a little more of a playable race to me. Grade 3, race number 8 on Saturday at Churchill Downs. I'm going to look to the outside with Helena's Forte, who has been good throughout her entire career. She has really one poor effort, and that was in the Ashland. And maybe we can say the 8 Bells when she finished 4th that day, but that was on a sloppy track. Easy race to excuse for horses that just don't run that well on certain off tracks. And look at her last 3 races. They're all good. They're sprinting. This is what she wants to do, this trip right here. And she has speed. She can sit off the pace. She was in the victory ride on July the 4th. It wasn't a big field, but it was a quality field. The winner, Emery, is 4 for 6 and was the runner-up in the Grade 1 test behind Ways and Means. The second place finisher, Mystic Lake, came back and won the Charlestown Oaks in her next start, earning a 95 Beyer speed figure when doing so. I think if you can get anything over 3-1, Helena's Forte is a nice play in here. The 7 Monomo Gold is a horse who I think is better than the races we've seen in the U.S., but she's had an unlucky year. She had some start. She kind of had to get start and stopped on because she had some issues when she shipped over from after the UAE Derby race, because she was initially going to be pointing to the Kentucky Oaks after she won the UAE Oaks, but then she didn't even get a chance to run until June. So there were 2 or 3 different spots she was supposed to run in, then she missed time. Things kept getting backed up. Her 2 races this year and in the U.S., okay, the dirt race was obviously better than the turf start. But the concern that I have is, again, let's look at the work pattern. So she races on July the 20th. She comes back and works on August 10th, and then we don't have anything again until September the 5th. So I like her as a horse, but is she going to be ready in here after what looks to be missing a few works? The other logicals, My Main Squeeze, no doubt about it. She's a Grade 2 winner, and she was in that Charlestown Oaks behind Mystic Lake. She was in 3rd behind Emery in the test. She was in the Acorn behind Torpedo Anna and in the Fantasy. So, I mean, you look at who she's faced, and just from a speed figure standpoint, she fits very well. And then one of the other players is Fibber, who's just in really nice form. Trainer Chris Hartman claimed this horse for $100,000, and in the 2 races since, won at Churchill right here, and then won a stakes race at Ellis Park. So Fibber could get a nice trip. I like the 9 most in here, race number 8. Let's move to race number 9. This one is the Harrods Creek, 7 furlongs for 3-year-olds. I like the 3 Henro He's a horse who was just really getting really good. You can go through his form. He broke his maiden um, in February, and then second time against winners, you could start to see the improvement. And on April the 5th, since that day, he just continued to step forward all the way up to the Iowa Derby where he won and he beat just a touch. But then we were really just starting to stretch, I think, the distance for him as far as he wants to go. So they took a shot in the West Virginia Derby too far, but he faced Dragoon Guard, who will probably be the favorite in the Pennsylvania Derby. Now he gets to cut back to a sprint. I think you're going to get a big effort from Henro. But it's not an easy group. The one Jefferson Street has some ability. Hasn't been able to get back to that really big victory at Saratoga in June. Valentine Candy has been a sharp, consistent sprinter. Very few races that you can look at and kind of knock him for. He's a 6-time winner in his 12 starts. And then Luminaire's the one that's going to take a lot of money because in his 2 starts, he's been really good. The horses he's defeated have come right back in one. But this is a much tougher group for him, and he will need to get faster. And race shape-wise, can he really sit off the pace? Or does he want to be right up on it? And does he maybe get hooked in a battle with a few different speed horses in here? He's probably the fastest, though. So, I mean, they're going to go. Race number 9 at Churchill. If we can get anything around 4-1, I think Henro makes a little bit of sense. Hoping that, like, Willie D, maybe if Always Into Mischief is in this race, he can help push because with Henro, we'll need a little bit of help up front. And a horse like Jefferson Street with the rail draw, he's really key because having the rail draw in a race like this could force him a little bit. Race number 10 closes out the stakes races at Churchill on Saturday. I thought this mile and 16th race for Fillies, 3-year-old fillies, that the 4 Little Jamie was a horse who's getting some class relief, faced Chotless 2 starts back, then was in the Monmouth Oaks last time out. And overall, the body of work is really solid. Once this horse put it all together in March, she really hasn't run a bad race. She missed the break in the slot back in May at Churchill Downs, but she always fires. She can pass horses if need be. She wants to be forwardly placed. I think she'll be sitting pretty close to it. The 12 to the outside's a major player, no doubt, Miss Justify. The 11 is a horse I liked earlier in the year, Alpine Princess. I'll be curious to see if she's grown up a little bit, maybe matured. The 8 Shotless, probably the one they'll have to catch in here. Life Talk was a horse who was highly regarded earlier in the year and at the end of 2023, but she just really hasn't stepped forward so far. And who else? Anyone else worth mentioning? The 5 Neon Icon, cutting back maybe after that 1.25 mile try that was just too far. But I put the 4 Little Jamie on top. Best of luck over at Churchill Downs on a stakes-filled Saturday. If you want some help with Parks races for Saturday, Barry Spears joined me to take a look at the late pick 5 for Parks. So if you want some help with that, there's a separate video on the YouTube channel. Make sure to subscribe to the YouTube channel if you're watching, and good luck playing the races at Churchill this week.